My dear students, take my heartful welcome for joining for this e-learning class of the Government of Odisha. As per our the last discussion of this unit, which is your the chapter 1 of your the CHSE syllabus as well as for your the CBSE also, we came to know about what is your the measurement, what is the unit, what are the different types of the unit, and how to write your the unit of your the different physical quantities and the rules which we have to follow for that one. That you will get in your the books. But according to my teaching, I have given you one of the different way how to find the unit of your the any physical quantity. Those who are joining for first class, let me say that you will get all the earlier 3 episodes in your the YouTube, and in that YouTube you will find how that will be your the possible by knowing your the one mantra, and that mantra's name which I had given, that is your the Pandava formula. So, by using the Pandava formula in our last class, we have determined the different physical quantities units, not only in your the MKS, CGS and your the APS. So, for your the clarification, and if any one of you have the doubts for that one, let me first recapitulate that one, and we will do another more physical quantities according to that process. Let us take your the pen and your the copy and be ready to make your the notes. So, what are the 5 steps that I explained my last class? The first step is your the write the formula. The second one is your the convert to fundamentals. Convert to the fundamentals if that is not in your the fundamental. The third one is shortest form. Shortest form. What are that shortest form? For the mass small m, for the length L, for the time t, as we have adopted. The fourth one is your the simplification. Simplification, and fifth one is your the put appropriate units. That appropriate units are your the MKS, CGS and your the FPS. MCF, all 3 are corresponding for your the length. This K, G and the P, that for your the mass. S, 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 this is for your the time. Means M means your the meter, C is your the centimeter, F is your the foot. Then your the K is your the kilometer, that is the mass. You see G is your the gram, and your the P is your the pound. So, gram, kg and the pound. The pronunciation will be the pound, but you have to write in your the symbol as your the LB, and 1 LB is equals to how much? 0.54 of your the kg, means which is your the nearly of your the 500 gram. That we have discussed in our the last class. And those who are the new for today, and those who already attend your the last classes, let us now go to find your the unit of the some more things, and that more things we will write for first is for today's first. This is your the density. The density, we will say the density, but for the symbol generally we are writing with this one. This is known as your the rho, RHO rho, not your the Kandiva. This is your the rho. So, what is your the density? Those who are the ODIA medium students, the density is your the Sandhrata. So, the density formula, the first one is the formula. According to the formula, that is your the mass by volume. Density is your the mass by your the volume. So, if this is the mass by volume, second part is the convert to the fundamental. You see the mass, the basic fundamentals are basic fundamentals. What are the basic fundamentals? That is your the mass, length and your the time. This is your the basic fundamentals. So this mass is already in your the fundamental, but the volume is not in the fundamental. Means you have to convert to the fundamental. So if you will convert to the fundamental, this is mass by volume is your the area of into your the height, which I said in my last class. Area into your the height. So you see height is your the length, that is your again fundamental, but the area it is not in your the basic of the fundamental. Means the area to be converted into your the fundamental. Again that is the mass divided by area is equals to your the length into breadth. The common formula is the length into breadth. So length into breadth into your the height is your the h. You see length means it is your the path. So that is your the fundamental one length. Breadth, that is also the one type of the length, that is also your the fundamental. The h is your the height is also the one type of your the length. So length, breadth, height all are in your the fundamental. Means the second stage is over. The third stage is your the shortest form. For the mass, what is the shortest form? You see, for the shortest form I have written, for the mass that is the small m, for the length that is your the L, the B is also the length, that is your the L, H is also the length, that is your the L. So this is equals to m by your the LQ. So your the third step is gone. Then the fourth step is your the simplification. So simply this is the third step. Fourth step is the simplification. The three lengths are taken into combined, that will your the multiplication form, therefore that is your the LQ. So the simplification fourth step is over. The fifth step is the put the appropriate units. What are the appropriate units? MKs or CGS or your the FPS. Suppose we will go for the MKs. For MKs, what M stands? You see, M stands for the length. So for the MKs, the length is measured in the meter. You see the length is here. So for that one, that is your the meter and that's Q. And your the numerator is your the M. M is your the mass. You see the mass is corresponding for the MKs, that is your the K. So K means your the kg. So kg by meter Q is your the MKs. Similarly for your the CGS, that is a gram by centimeter cube, and for your the FPS, that is your the pound by your the FTQ. Are you clear to my students? So what we discussed in our the last class and the example which I given before you, so both are your the proceeding on the same manner. So if you remember these 5 steps in your life, in no field you will be beaten to find the unit of your the any physical quantity. So let us now go to determine another physical quantities unit. Let us say that is your the 2 for 2 days. That is your the power. Suppose I will say that is your the power. Power means your the khyamata. You know in your the 9th class what is the definition of the power. So power is equals to your the work by your the time. This is your the first step, that is your the formula. The second step, convert to your the fundamental. You see the work is not in your the basic fundamental, the time is already in your the basic fundamental. Means this is already in the fundamental, but the work is not in the fundamental. How you have to convert into the fundamental? You think what is the formula for the work. So what is the formula for the work? That is your the force into distance. W is equals to Fs. So time is equals to your the time. It will remain as such. So we have determined what is your the simplification for your the force in our the last class. Those who are the newcomer, this distance is your the length is the basic fundamental, time is the basic fundamental. So these two are already in the fundamental, but the force is not in the fundamental. You have to convert to the fundamental. So again you have to given the division sign, then the force is equals to your the, that's formula, mass into acceleration into of your the distance by your the time. You see, mass is again here the fundamental, distance is your the basic fundamental, time is the basic fundamental. Only your the acceleration is not your the basic fundamental. The second step, you have to proceed till each and the every term of that formula not converted into your the fundamental. So acceleration again it is not in your the fundamental, so you have to convert. Then what we have to do? We have to write what is the formula behind your the acceleration. What is the formula behind the acceleration? In ODIA that is your the Torano. Torano is equals to your the Sundari Bega Vibhakta your the Samaya. So Torano acceleration is equals to your the velocity by your the time. So this velocity in ODIA that is called your the Parivega. So Pari means not there the Sundari. So I will say that the Parivega Vibhakta your the Samaya means Sundari Vega by your the Samaya. So this Sundari Vega means in English that is your the velocity. We have derived what will your the fundamental form of the velocity. The velocity is means the acceleration is velocity by time again into distance by again your the time. You see, mass is the basic fundamental, time is the basic fundamental, again this time is the basic fundamental, again the distance is the length, that is the basic fundamental. Only not fundamental is your the velocity. You have to again convert your the velocity into your the fundamental. Therefore that is equals to mass into velocity. Velocity formula is what? Displacement by your the time. So this velocity is your the displacement oblique time, displacement by time. This time I have taken to your the denominator. So again this denominator becomes your the time square into of your the distance. Clear my students? This is the velocity by time. This time I taken to your the denominator. So time into time it becomes your the time square. Only numerator remain your the velocity. Velocity is your the displacement by your the time. So again this will be how much? That will be your the mass is your the m, that is your the basic fundamental, displacement is your the basic fundamental, this time is your the basic fundamental, the distance is your the basic fundamental, again the time is the basic fundamental. Means each and every one is in your the basic fundamental. So the second stage is over. Then you will make it your the shortest form. For the mass, shortest form is your the m. For your the distance, that is your the L. For the time, that is equals to your the t. You see, time the shortest form is your the t. Time is your the t. By your the t. By your the L by your the t. By your the t square into of your the distance is equals to your the L. So this t with your the this t square will be your the tq. So this is equals to m by L, m into L, L square by your the tq. So this will be your the work. So work by your the time. Therefore you put that one and you have to find what will be in the MKS, CGS and your the FPS. Are you clear to my point? The power is equals to the work by time. Work is equals to your the W is equals to Fs, force into distance. Force is equals to your the mass into acceleration. Again into your the distance by your the time. Mass is the mass. Acceleration is the velocity by time. Distance is your the distance. By time is your the time. And this time comes to downward. So mass into displacement by your the time. So this time when comes your the downward, it will have the time square. So therefore it is not your the L by your the t. That is your the L square. That is your the t square. This will your the t square into your the distance is the t. So now you will find it for the power. So P is equals to your the W by your the t. W is equals to your the m L square by your the t square by your the t. So this is equals to m L square by your the tq. This is your the simplification form. The fourth one is the MK, CGS, FPS. So if you will go for your the MKS, for your the MKS, M means your the kg, L means your the meter. So that is the meter square by your the time, that is your the second cube, because this is the t cube. T for your the second, cube will your the cube. Then for your the CGS, kg will be your the gram, meter will be your the centimeter, meter square will be the centimeter square, second Q will be your the second Q. Similarly, for your the FPS, F is your the pound, P is your the foot, so that is the foot square by your the SQ. So these are the way how to find the unit of your the any physical quantity. But in each and every step, can you go by you writing this way, this way, this way? No. There is a proverb in the English. Practice makes one to be the perfect. So if you will make it your the practice while you have gone in your the class 1 or the class 2, you are making the multiplication. 2 ja 1 is equals to 2, 2 ja 2 is equals to 4. Can today, if someone asks you what will the 2 ja of the 15, will you go starting from the 2 ja into 1 is equals to 1, 2 ja into 2 is equals to 4? No. So 2 ja of 15, you are saying immediately that is the 30. Means if you will make practice, practice and practice, then you will be the perfect in writing your the unit. But for that practice, you have to follow this way. So by this way, if I will give you some home task to find what will be the unit of your the different fundamental quantities, please take it for your the home task. So one is your the say current, second one is your the potential energy, third one is your the kinetic energy, fourth one is your the pressure, and the fifth one is your the surface tension. So out of them, this current, what is this one? We know earlier, because this current one of the basic fundamental one, as I already said, the 7 fundamental quantities of one of them is your the current. What will be? You will write that one easily. Potential energy and kinetic energy, they are the energy. Energy is what? The amount of work done. I have done what is your the unit of your the work. So one unit of the work and the unit of this potential and kinetic energy, they should be the same. Next one is the pressure. What is the formula for the pressure? P is equals to your the F by A, means the force by area. You know already for your the force we have determined. A means the area, very first we have determined. So you have to divide, then that will give you the pressure. Next one is the surface tension. Sir, what is that surface tension? On the surface, what is the tension? That is the surface tension. And that surface tension formula is equals to your the F by your the L, means force per length. So for the force you know, length is the fundamental you know. So this is for your the task. Go through that one. Thank you. So as I have written some home tasks for you. So by using this type of your the Pandava formula, means your the Pandava Sutra अनुसारे पिला माने आमे जहाँ भी पाइले जे कोनोसी गोटे भौतिक राशि रो आमे एकक को बाहर करि परिबा. So now we will go for your the another thing which is the most interesting of this world. Means though we came to know that the world has become your the shortest in form. So there was a time, suppose someone is out of our the country, we are saying that, so how will we make the contact with him or the her? But nowadays, if a person at the one corner of the world, within no seconds, we are making contact with him or the her, not only with the touch, but also with its the facial appearance. Therefore, we are saying that this world is becomes your the shortest, not short, that is the shortest. Similarly, on your the vocational way, we are also using very short form words. Suppose I will say, I already said in one day, one will say what is your the ID. So ID stands for your the identification, means your the identity cards. Please show your the ID. In your the colleges, suppose in your the schools you are going, you are associated with your the I cards, means identity card. For the identity, we are using your the I. Suppose you will write a small message to your the anyone, then that one in your the phone appearance we are saying that is your the SMS, means short message service. So, for that short message service we are not writing for your. So, YR you are writing instead of the YOUR. Instead of FOUR4, we are simply writing the digit of your the 4. So, these are it's the simplest forms which we are using. So, if we will go to find the unit of your the fundamental quantity, I have written that the basic fundamentals are, you see this is your the basic fundamentals. I have written the basic fundamentals for the mass, length and your the time. Let us go for your the mass. Someone will ask what will be the this length, what will be the this length. So, in which way you will answer? You may say it in your the centimeter, you may say the same thing in your the meter, you may say the same thing in your the foot, you may say the same thing in your the kilometer, you may say same thing in your the inch also. So, for a unit measurement, there are the different measuring quantities we are using. So, if these are the different measuring quantities, in order to make it here the short, in overall we are accepted one of the shortest symbol for that one. The shortest symbol which is using for your the fundamental quantity, that is known as your the dimension. And in the interesting way, I am saying that the dimension is duity ondiri puo. Dimension, as you are saying di, tri, tetra, etc. for 2, 3, 4. So, now we are going to know about here the dimension. Dimension. Next one is your the dimension. Means as I said, duity ondiri puo. Di means your the 2, men means your the ondira, son means your the puo. But that son is a SON son, but this is your the SION son. So, this dimension means your the symbolic representation. Symbolic representation. Symbolic representation of any physical quantity. Any physical quantity. So, for the physical quantity in the shortest form, we will write as the PQ I have said earlier. So, instead of writing some physical quantity, you may write here the PQ. So, if a physical quantity is there, if you will express it in your the simplest way, means in your the symbolic way, in your the symbolic way, that is called here the, in the symbolic way, that is called here the dimension. So, you do not know what are the different symbols. Suppose you are going on your the road, there is a school area, and before that school area you will find some symbols on your the board, means a small boy and the small girl with their the school bags with them, and they are standing. On looking that one, we will confirm that ahead there is a school, either that is the primary or the high school or your the any type of the educational institution is there. Suppose we are going on the road, on your the board you will find that this one. So, what this one indicates? Above, ahead there will be the arms. Suppose there is a right turn, there is a left turn. So, instead of the writing the right turn, left turn, etc., etc., only the symbols are here the used. So, the symbolic representation of any physical quantity is called here the dimension. And the definition behind it, the powers raised by the powers raised by the fundamental quantities to represent the derived quantity. derived quantity. So, this is your the physical, means in the terms of the physics, this is the definition. The powers raised by your the fundamental quantity to represent the derived quantity. Suppose a derived quantity is there. What is the derived quantity? Which is expressed by using of the fundamental quantity. So, in this way we will say what will be the dimension of that one. As I said that the dimension is nothing but the symbolic representation of any physical quantity. This is my definitions, but according to your the physics, the actual definition stands for the powers raised by your the fundamental quantity to represent the derived quantity. So, though in both the case, if we will go very vividly, some symbols we have to use. So, there are the 7 fundamental quantities, 7 fundamental quantities. So, that 7 fundamental quantities are what? If you have make your the practice and you write yourself as I am writing, mass, second one is length, third one is your the time, fourth one is your the temperature, fifth one is your the, what is fifth one? Electric current, the sixth one is your the amount of substance, and what is the seventh one? That is your the luminous intensity. So, here I have written 2 things, one is the fundamental, one is the derived. The fundamental physical quantity means the fundamental quantity means it is a physical quantity. The fundamental physical quantity are of the 7 types, which never depends upon your the other for its measurement. That is called your the fundamental, means the most basic one. But which one is your the derived? As I underlined, derived physical quantity. So, derived means which depends upon your the other fundamental quantities for its measuring. Suppose we are measuring for the area, you cannot measure your the area directly, means in the fundamental way. You have to first measure what will the length, then what will the breadth, then the length into breadth to be multiplied, again it will give you the area. Suppose you are measuring for the volume. The volume cannot be measured here the directly. You have to take, sir, as per our the beakers which are supplied, according to that we are getting here the 1 liter of the milk. So, that beaker, why it is of this size, why it is not of the this size, why the round shape is your the according to my the distance between your the 2 fingers, why not that distance is your the more than, means that one is a definite breadth one, this one is definite your the height one. So, by taking the breadth, height and its the length, that beaker being your the constructed, therefore we are say that this beaker is of the length, this beaker is of the volume of your the 1 liter we are saying. So, therefore, for your the derived quantities we have to use the fundamental quantities. So, here to find the dimension of your the any fundamental quantities, we have to take in some symbols, and the symbols for your the mass, that is equals to your the capital M. As I said that for representation of your the educational institutions, we are taking the symbol for a boy and the girl of your the some definite age up to your the 15-16, means up to depends upon that institution. If that is the primary, before the primary area of that school, you cannot have a board having your the boys and the girls of the age of the 20 plus or the 15 plus, because 20 plus and the 15 plus, they are indicates for your the colleges. So, this is the school, means the age of your the 2 plus or the 3 plus or the 4 plus, that will be accepted. So, for the mass, that is equals to your the M, and if that is the dimension, that to be put in your the square bracket. For the length, that is your the L. For the time, that is the capital T. For the temperature, you may take your the theta or you may take your the K. Theta means for temperature, K stands for your the Kelvin, and K theta or the K, that is your choice. And for the electric current, it is measured in your the ampere, therefore you can take your the capital A or in some way you can take it is your the capital I also. So, either you will take A or your the I. For the amount of the substance, that we know as your the mole. So, amount of the substance for the mole, that is your the MOL in a bracket, or in your the some representation of the books they have written here the some symbols like your the N or the some others name also be given. So, next one is the luminous of intensity. Sir, what is the luminous of intensity? I said in the unit and measurement of the part 2, you will find that the luminous of intensity, it provides you the what amount of the lights we are getting. Means for the light, the unit which is used, that is your the luminous of intensity, which is your the candela. For the candela, what type of the shortest form we are used? CD. And for the symbolization, in some way it may take here the C, or in the some way it may take here the capital J. That is your choice. But whatever it may be, some symbol must be there. So, these are for your the fundamentals. So, according to the definition, these fundamentals, what powers they bears, that powers taken together is your the dimension. So, for the fundamental quantity, to represent the derived fundamental quantity. If the derived quantity is that to be converted into the fundamental, for that fundamentals we will use the symbols of likewise, and what their power, then according to that powers it will be called it's the dimension. Are you clear to my students? The dimension means the physical representation of any the symbolic representation of any physical quantities. It is your the derived quantity in terms of your the fundamental quantities power. Are you clear? Let us now go for the example. So, which example will you take? Let us take for your the first one, which we have taken for your the unit, that is your the area. And here we have to find the dimension of the area. So, to find the dimension of your the area or any physical quantity, you just put the mantra which I provided, that is your the Pandava formula. Just remembering this formula, in this universe any type of the derived quantity will be provided before you. It may take your the some time, but the answer which you will write, that is the correct. But if you will make your the by heart, the time will come, you will be in the dilemma, either it is correct or wrong, or it is correct or wrong. So, next go for it in this way. So, that is your the area. The first one is your the write the formula. What is the area formula? Length into your the breadth. What is the second step? Just I am asking you, what you will say, I am not hearing. So, you just remember yourself, the second form is your the convert it into the fundamental. Second one is the convert to the fundamental. Length is the fundamental, breadth is the fundamental. Means it already in your the fundamental, there is no need make it for its the conversation. The third one is the shortest form. The shortest form for the length, the shortest form we have accepted is the small l. The breadth, that is also the small l. Though there is a into, so here is the into. If it is the plus, then it is the plus. If it is the division, then it is the division. If it is the minus, it is the minus. As I said in my first class, first you have to write the formula. The formula is your the sutra. In ODIA, we are saying that is the sutra. But you will say on your position, sir, is it the sutra you have written? No, because this is not your the sutra, it is your the looks like your the summary. How it becomes that one? Because I left a straight line only, a small line. So, if I left a small line, then it looks like your the another thing. Similarly, while you are writing the formula, if that formula on that stage it becomes your the wrong, then you are proceeding for your the other steps, no answer of the correct answer you will get. Either clear, my students? So, if this formula instead of the L cross B, if I will write the L plus B, so if I will go on the same way, the area is always in your the square, but if you will take it in your the L plus B, you will never get that one in your the square. I will prove it now. So, this was your the way. So, L into L. The fourth step was what? The fourth step is your the simplification. L into L means this is the L square. And what was the fifth step? According to the unit, the fifth step I have written, put the appropriate units. But though this is the dimension, the fifth step is the put the appropriate dimension. So, what are sir appropriate dimensions? As these 7 fundamentals, because the definition says if it is a derived quantity, the derived quantity we converted to the fundamental. So, if that is in the fundamental, these symbols must be there, and what is their power, that is its the dimension. So, for the fifth step, put the appropriate dimensions. Are you clear? Up to your the fourth step, they are the common. The fifth step, for the unit you will write the unit, for the dimension you have to put the dimension. Clear? So, let us now go for your the area. First step is the formula. So, that is your the length into breadth. The second stage in your the fundamental. So, L cross L, that is your the L square. I gone up to your the this one. The fifth step is your the put the appropriate dimension. So, this L stands for your the length. You see, for the length the symbol is your the L. So, this is your the L square in a bracket. Over. But as I said, it is the power raised by the fundamentals. So, the power raised by this. But in this way, only the L is there. So, what about the other? Instead of using your the 7, as I written some basic fundamentals, that basic fundamentals are your the M, L and your the T, mass, length, time. This is your the basic one. You see, here the length is there, no mass, no time. So, if the no mass, no time, you want to put that form, so you may also write there is no mass, means m to the power of 0. Next one is your the L, L square, then is your the T, no T was there, therefore it is a T to the power of 0. Clear, my students? If you will go for your the unit, then this L square for the unit, it will be the meter square for m case, because L means the length, length in here the m case is the meter, so that will be the meter square. If it is in here the FPS, the length will be the foot, so that will be the foot square. Are you clear to my students? So, let us now go for your the second example. Second one, suppose we will say for your the velocity. Let us go for your the velocity, or in sometimes it will also the same that of the speed. Speed and the velocity both are the same dimensions. So, velocity or the speed, what is the formula? Distance or displacement by your the time. If it is distance by time, then that is your the speed. If it is the displacement by time, that is the velocity. You know in the school level, the speed, that is your the vega, but this velocity, it is your the Sundari vega. This is your the scalar and this is your the vector. The scalar and the vector in ODIA, that is the Sadisha Rashi, Adisha Rashi. Adisha, disha means your the diga. So, if there is no direction, then that is your the adisha, that is known as your the scalar. If it has your the direction, sa disha, disha means your the diga, sa means your saha, diga sahita, hele that is your the vector, that we know in your the school level. So, this is either speed or the velocity, that is the distance by time, that is the first step, which is your the formula. What is the second step? They to be converted into fundamental if they are not. You see, distance is the basic, this is the fundamental, time is the basic, fundamental, they are already in the fundamental. The third step is the shortest form. For the distance or the displacement, the shortest is your the L, for the time, that is your the T. So, L by your the T. The fourth one is your the simplification. L by T, they comes here the single way. So there will be no simplification. If the one terms comes here the more than one times, according to its representation, we will make here the simplification. So the length is only once, time is the only once, so there is no simplification is required. So simplification is gone. What is the fifth step? That is your the put the appropriate dimension. You see L for your the length. You see length dimension is the L. So for this is the L divided by the T. T the short form was the time. For the time, that is the capital T. L by T, that to be put in a bracket. L, this T will go up. So L T to the power of -1. So though it have the basic fundamentals of the MLT, no M is there. So you can write M0 L T to the power of -1. So if it is M0 L T to the power of 1, what it contains? Length and the time. By using the length and the time is your the basic fundamentals. So on these fundamentals, this quantity is your the depends. Therefore this quantity is your the derived one. So as per in the definition, I written that the powers of the fundamental physical quantities. You see here M power is your the 0, here L power is nothing is written, means that is your the 1. If it is the x, means its power will consider as your the 1. So though this was only L, its power is your the 1. So 0, 1 and your the -1. This will be its the dimension, you may also write. Okay, are you clear to my students? These are the two examples. So if we will go for your the more physical quantities example. So which one I will write? What answer you are saying? I cannot hearing, so according to my choice I will give you. Suppose I will say that is your the acceleration. Let us now go for you the acceleration. So what is the formula stands for the acceleration? Velocity by your the time. Okay, velocity by your the time. So what is the velocity? We have done earlier. What is the time? So you put that one and you make it the practice now. Then I am giving you what will be the dimension of the acceleration. So my students, have you make what will be the dimension for that one? You see acceleration is your the velocity by time. So in the earlier example, that velocity was L T to the power of -1. Am I clear? And this time is your the T. So you may take individual in a bracket, individual brackets, or put whole one in a bracket. And if we simplify it, then L T to the power of -2, or this is equals to M0 L T to the power of -2. You see, it also by looking your the dimension, you can also write it's the unit. You see, what is this is the M0, means no mass is there. This is the length, length means your the distance. If it is in the M case, this distance will be the meter. This is your the time, time is your the second, so that is the second to the power of -2, or your the meter by your the second square. So if you know the unit as the meter by your the second square, on looking that unit, you may write your the dimension. So you see, this is the meters, because on the symbol I said what are the rules followed to write for your the symbol. So this is the small m, and we have written that for all other physical units, the small letters are to be used. For the meter as your the small m, as per your the rule number 3. For your the rule follows for your the unit, you go in my last class. So that is your the meter. So for the meter, that is the length L. For the time, that is the capital T. This is the second square, means your the T square. So L T to the power of -2. So when you know L T to the power of -2, you can write your the unit m by your the s square. If you know the m by s square, you can write the dimension L T to the power of -2. So this is your the third. Suppose we will go for the fourth, that is your the force. Force is equals to your the Fa. F stands for the father. So what we know, the father is equals to your the mother. Mother is equals to your the ma. Ma means your the English, that is the Ma. M means your the mass, A means your the acceleration. So Ma means mass into acceleration. So force is equals to mass into your the acceleration. Are you interesting this? Are you feeling interesting this one for not? You see F for the father. Father is equals to ma. Ma means you are the mother. So father is not equals to the mother. So the father is equals to mother. Prove it by your the physics way. So you one can say F is equals to the ma. This is my way. So F is equals to ma. M means your the mass. This is the fundamental. A is your the acceleration. Acceleration is in the fundamental. You say acceleration. Acceleration is equals to your the Lt to the power of minus 2. M means your the mass. For the mass, that is equals to your the capital M. For the acceleration, this is your the Lt to the power of minus 2. So this is the dimension of your the force. So instead of saying force, suppose on a cardboard one have written mLt to the power of minus 2, mLt to the power of minus 2. So if one will look for mLt to the power of minus 2, so what he or the she will think? Means he is saying for the force, means for the force. So for your the dimension, you can use your the symbol for that one. Suppose I will write one of the symbol. This symbol means stands for the love. So I said in my very first class, you have to love the physics. If you love the physics, then you will come to know something about the physics. If you will love your the father, you will know what are the responsibility of the father and what you have to do for the father. So if I will ask someone in my classes, are you loving for anyone? The question will immediately come, no sir, I have no love. So on that class, I am saying that you are not loving your the father, your mother, your brother, your sister, your family members, your neighbors. So if you have a love, for the love symbol we are writing this one. Suppose I will say for your the train or the bus, instead of the train or bus, just by looking it's the symbol, we are saying that this is the train or the bus. So this is your the force mLt to the power minus 2. Next one, by using this formula, suppose I will say for your the work is equals to your the W. What is the formula for the work? Work is equals to your the force into your the displacement. The force, you see force is equals to your the this one, mL t to the power minus 2. Then S is equals to your the L. So this is equals to mL square t to the power of minus 2. This is your the dimension for your the work. Next one, 6, for your the kinetic energy. Kinetic energy. What is the formula for the kinetic energy? You know from your the school level, that is your the half mv square. So half mv square. Half is a number. A number has your the no dimension. Suppose you will say the two students are there, so you have to, in your the symbol, you have to stand or you have to make your the two numbers, means one student near to your the another student, that will say your the 2. For the 2, 3, 4, 5, there is your the no symbol, but you are saying it. So can you give me? Means the 2. Or what is the 3? Means I will give you one example. So inside your the examination hall, suppose some questions is not known to you. So at that case you are saying, means for the question number 1, what is the second bit? Or the question number 1, likewise we are saying, means that is your the symbol you are using. For the question 1, first one is the question, the second one is your the what number of the bit, that one. Means for the third, we have to see the 3 fingers. For the fourth bit, we have to see here the 4 fingers. So any physical quantity which have its the numerical numbers, that never have its the unit. Or the any constants, suppose we will say the area of the circle is your the pi r square. Pi r square. So pi means your the constant, that is your the 22 by your the 7. So this is your the constant number, it has your the no dimension, only your the r square. R is what? Radius. Radius is what? That is a distance. So what is the dimension of the distance? L. So this is your the L square. You see area, the dimension is your the L square. Either you will go on this formula or you will go on this formula, the dimension will be the same. So what type of the dimension? If you will write on your home, if the same symbol to be written on your the another's home, then both the symbol will indicate your the same meaning. So here that is the kinetic energy with the formula half. Half is your the no dimension. Next comes your the mv square. M is the mass. Mass is already in the fundamental. V is your the speed. Speed is not in your the fundamental. You see, for the speed we have written speed. For the speed, that is the Lt to the power of -1. So the V is known, M is known. For the M, that is the M. For the V, Lt to the power of -1. This is the V square. So L square T to the power of -2, because it's square. L square is your the L square. T to the power of -1 square will be the T to the power of -2. This is your the kinetic energy dimension, ml square T to the power of -2. You see, which one of them have the same dimension? You see, work. Work is also here the ml square T to the power of -2. So this is also ml square T to the power of -2. Means the work and the energy, they represent for your the same dimension. So if you go for the formula, what is your the energy? The ability of doing work, the capacity of doing work. कार्य करिबार क्षमता को ही शक्ति बोली कहा जाए. तेणु कार्य करिबार क्षमता हला शक्ति. शक्ति जेतिकी करूची से अनुसार से कार्य करूथुबो. तेणु कार्य करिबा पई शक्ति आवश्यक. शक्ति उपार्जन करिबा पई कार्य करिबा आवश्यक. Therefore the work and energy, they are the correlated. You see, work dimension and the kinetic energy dimension are also the same. So in my home task, I have given you what will be the unit of the kinetic energy. You see, for the kinetic energy, this is this one. If we write it's the unit by looking it's the dimension. For the m, that will the kg. For the L, that is the meter. For your the T, that is your the second. For m case, so meter kg meter square by your the second square. That will be the unit. So if you already done my home task, while I have given to you, now you match it, either you are correct or you are the wrong. Similarly, if you go for your the potential energy, what is the formula for the potential energy? That is your the mgh. M means your the mass. For the mass, that is equals to the capital M. G is what? Acceleration due to gravity. Acceleration due to gravity, you see acceleration. Acceleration is equals to Lt to the power -2. So this G is your the Lt to the power -2. Then is your the H. H is what? Height. For the height, that is equals to your the L. So on simplification, m is only 1, so m to the power of 1, L into L is your the L square, then this is equals to T to the power of -2. So m L square T to the power of -2. This is for the potential energy. For the kinetic energy, ml square T to the power of -2. For the work also, ml square T to the power of -2. Means work and the energy, they have your the same dimension. So by taking your these fundamental examples, you can also proceed the other physical quantities which you know. But for your the dimension one, if you will go for your the screen, you will find that the powers of the fundamental quantities in a derived quantity are called your the dimension of that quantity. If these are all your the derived quantity and they are what is the fundamental physical quantities, that's powers are called it's the derived quantity. So on your the next class we will go what are the uses of your the dimension. So be keep study and your the what the task is provided on the right hand side. I have given you some the question answers, so you take it by your the by making it the pose. So the first question is, which of the following unit is not your the best on your the mass, length and the time alone? That is one of the question I have provided to you. The second question is your the density of the water at 4 degrees Celsius is dash gram by centimeter cube or the dash kg by your the meter cube. On my task, I already given what is your the density. So by looking that one, you find that one. On your the next class, we will discuss what will be the answer and the uses of the dimension. So, thank you very much.